Hey friends, my name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Sunday, farting around Sunday. DJI prepping for O4 is today's live stream. Trying to find canopies, AIOs, maybe do sharding around Sunday. Brandon's Baked Bean says sharding around Sunday. Yeah, what do we need to do to get O4 up and running? Hey, on my Patreon, I linked in general nonsense yesterday to a video that Ian just put up of the, apparently a lot of O4 lights are breaking. And the failure that Ian found is on the connection point between the mipi plug harness and the back PCB of the camera. He did remove, so this failure happened on the bench, like it happened before even flying the damn thing. But he did remove this blob of glue here, and you can see this blob of glue connects the PCB up to the harness and holds the mipi on. And he also removed, I think they have a blob of glue on the other side here. Yeah, see it? There's another blob of glue on the other side here. So don't remove those. But if you have to unplug your mipi, you're going to have to remove those. And so what I think you should do is run a bead of E6000 down here below. So here's the mipi that goes to the camera plug. And then this separate board up on top here, this is the connector, and then that is soldered down to the main PCB here. And so run a bead of E6000 exactly where the tip of my fingernail is. Right down in here. You're securing the bottom of the mipi plug to the PCB. And then run that bead all the way around the back. You see how it's kind of shiny on mine? Hold on. Rotate it around here. Ah! All right. See how it's kind of shiny down there on that bottom PCB? So there's 3 layers here, right? The connector, the middle layer, and the bottom layer. You want a layer of E6000 between that bottom PCB and that middle layer. That's going to make this so much stronger. You see it there? That's not normally there. You want to do that. By doing that, you're not gluing your mipi down either. There's no reason for that that middle PCB and the bottom PCB to ever come apart. And that's the problem, is that they're coming apart. And so fix that. if you have O4. Don't use this giant tube of E6000. You'll get it all over everything. Do a tiny whoop order and get a little bottle of E6000 clear. I recommend you do it in clear. On tinywhoop.com for $3 whole, there's this tube of E6000 with this really tight little precision like applicator tip on it. That makes it super easy to get the E6000 in between those two without making a huge mess. Order a couple of these. These are so nice. Like, E6000's great and all, but it kind of gets everywhere, and it's a little stringy, and it gets all over your fingers, and it's a mess. If for some reason you want to do it in black, you can get this T7000, which is just basically E6000 but black. But do it in clear. Well, it doesn't really matter. I was going to say do it in clear so that you can see it in case it ever fails, but if it ever fails, you're done. So it kind of doesn't matter. But don't try to do it with a big tube of E6000 because you'll get it all over the goddamn place. You'll probably get it all over that mipi connector, and then it's going to be a lot more difficult to remove that mipi in the future. So do a little tiny whoop order, maybe snag a set of the new fancy motors, and get you a little... those little tubes of E6000 are perfect for putting like UFLs on. They're perfect for all the things that we're using E6000 for. They're really, really, really nice to have. So do that. That seems to be one of the main failure points of the O4 Lite. Apparently, this is not looking like it's super durable. There are supposedly a lot of these that are failing. So when you guys see or hear, most of the failures are just like, it broke, what a piece of shit, fuck you DJI. What we're looking for are the failures where somebody like actually looks at it and is like, why did this fail, right? Like what Ian did. And so when you guys come across those, post them on the Discord. It might not be a terrible idea. Yeah, no, see, they've got these nice big blobs of glue on the outsides of the other side of the mipi. I was going to say, it might not be a bad idea to run another bead of E6000 down the front of this mipi here. Maybe I will. But this is a lot tighter here. I would maybe just run it along the inside of the board. I would not try to run it on the outside here because it's going to get all over the place. You're trying to not glue the mipi down. If you glue that mipi down and then you have to remove it at some point, it's going to suck. It'd probably be fine, but like, yeah, we want to try to not jack that all up. The other spot that I've seen fail is the bind button, but it was because of the canopy that the pilot was running. The canopy was pushing against the bind button, and on a hard crash, it just smashed the bind button off. There's nothing DJI can do about that. There's nothing any manufacturer can do about that. If you've got a canopy pushing up against a component and you start crashing, that component's going to break off. You need to figure that out. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But as you guys see more O4 Lite failures, post them over on the Discord because, yeah, we want to keep track of that stuff. And there are ways that we can beef things up because, you know, we crash in very specific... We put energy into our... we get energy from crashes in different ways, and that can very easily make something that would, like, normally in a normal situation be totally bulletproof fragile, because of the weird situations that we put these in, and the weird like directionality of the energy coming up through the canopy when you hit inverted, or you know what I mean. So yeah. BAD was first in the chat. Cole Powers, Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper, Botanically Enhanced, Bird Person FPV, Brandon's Baked Beans, Uriel Craig, Flycadelic, Islander FPV, Zip Craig, two different people, Weber FPV, Douglas 6, Robert Pope, RC Baffa, Uriel, Midnight Jesus, Flash FPV, Brandon's Baked Beans again, Ciotti, Hockey Rounds. If you want the gangly man to say your name, gotta get here early. or just type CiottiFPV into your chat comment. It'll light up an orange for me, and I'll read it. Like Apache Snake Wounded Snarper said, good evening, CiottiFPV and Gangly Gang. How you all doing? Craig says, Big Eagles game day today. We just heard the flyover. Craig is watching some sports ball. Sports. Weber FPV says, what's up, CiottiFPV and the Gangly Gang? Brains Baked Beans says, careful with the funny connector on the camera side of that O4 light. Madstech is complaining about his breaking there. Don't take the glue and fiddle with the connector like he did. Brandon's Baked Beans also saw the video yesterday. So if you guys want to, just go to Madstech's channel. It's a video from yesterday. I did post it over on the Discord in General Nonsense. But, yeah. Espander says, hey, Gangly Gang. Hi, CiottiFPV. Bad says, after watching your last stream, I took today's packs to redo my rates. I've pretty much slashed the midpoints in half and added more expo. I can now smooth fly the 2S 75mm rig indoors. Isn't it amazing? How many other people have gone into their rates and messed around with them a little bit? Let us know. It sounds, yeah. Bad is saying he can smoothly fly his 2S 75mm rig indoors. It should make a big difference. Additional expo, softer, slower rates should help you guys out inside. Unless you're already too slow. If your rates are already slow enough or too slow, it might not necessarily help. But I'm interested to hear from you guys to see if any of that kind of helps. Selfishly, because, you know, feels good to have helped people. NeoFlow says, would you recommend doing the ant lens mod or wait for a possible wider lens? I would certainly not recommend that you hammer your O4 camera with a heat gun, 3D print a thing, pull the lens off, exposing the sensor, and then try to attach a different lens. I will never ever recommend that. That's a great way to destroy your camera or get dust all over the sensor. Anytime you're taking the lens off of anything, there's a really good chance that it's never going to go back on. There's going to be dust on the sensor. You're going to get a fingerprint on it. The UV filter is going to pop off. The lens that goes back on is not going to be perfectly squared up. So yeah, it's cool, I guess, that people are doing that. But I will never recommend that, like, you know, these are expensive little things. And there's about a million ways that can go wrong. You know, 3D printing, like the chances of having the lens be absolutely perfectly square are going to be tough. And then you got to glue it down and then that could come off square. Like, it's, I get it. We want more field of view. But cameras are very sensitive pieces of gear, and like us going in there and screwing around with it, like there are so many ways that can go wrong. So you won't catch me doing that. The field of view is what it is. Maybe at some point they'll release a different camera with wider field of view, but yeah, I mean, it's a cinematic, you know, the O4 is for cinematic stuff. It's not for freestyle. It's not, right? Like, analog is for freestyle. O4 is for range and camera quality. And so for cinematic stuff, the super wide field of view, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Typically with cinematic flying, you're flying a subject, right? And so staying farther away from that subject because you have less field of view is actually kind of nice. Super, super, super wide field of view and then subject-driven flying means that you got to be up in that subject's face. And so, yeah, I think that the field of view is... I would rather it be a little bit wider, but for the type of flying that you should be doing with these, I think that it's totally fine. I haven't flown it yet, so maybe my mind will change. But I don't know. We'll see. Flash FPV says, I love the thin little tips. The little thin tips. You and me both, brother. Danzel the Terrible says, arrived just in time for CiottiFPV talking about his favorite tip. Yeah. Denzel the Terrible says, maybe a blob of hot glue to hold the mipi on. Easily removable, bit of safety. I would be worried about the hot glue getting too hot from, you know, digital VTXs running so hot. And like either flowing or just not being stuck to it. I've found that E6000 is pretty much just as easy to remove as hot glue, but it's resistant to temperature. So I guess hot glue is a little bit easier to remove. But yeah, any components that are going to get hot, I don't know. I think E6000 is okay. That's just me, though. Craig says, no, my wife is. I wear a shirt which says, go local sports ball team. Awesome. Craig says, that rate stuff demonstration was excellent. Very cool. Bad says, did you see the Bardwell video where he took his O4 Lite and 533 to Evan Turner, raced it, and got comparable speeds as his HDZero drone? I did. That's what I watched immediately after the Madstex video. Super impressive. But the field of view was the one big thing that Evan said was holding him back. He did run a little bit faster with the HDZero setup, but he was blown away at how good the O4 on race mode was. There was some, they didn't super dive into it, but there was some discrepancy with the timing system, if you noticed from that video. So, like, I didn't realize this, but one of the reasons why, because I don't pay attention to racing, one of the reasons why the racing crowd has completely not allowed Walk Snail DJI is that when they have had no ability to truly lock the output power. And when the output power goes up and down, when you've got your timing system and the drone comes past it, the timing system can't accurately trigger because the output power is going up and down and up and down and up and down. And I think there was actually a little bit of that happening on the O4. I wish they'd talked a little bit more about it, but like Armando had mentioned, like, you know, on this lap, he looked back at the DVR and the DVR didn't match up perfectly with the timing system, which, like, I don't really know anything about those racing timing systems, but it sounded a little bit weird. But supposedly O4 in race mode is supposed to lock down the output power and the megabits per second. I don't know. But that was interesting to me. Kind of obnoxious that if you're going to have DJI O4 racing pilots participating, each one of them has to have a Cosmos streamer for each one of them. What was really cool is that they absolutely confirmed that Cosmos streamers work with O4 goggles, which is great for me for the live broadcast setup. Lots of good stuff in that video. Super impressive. Evan seemed incredibly impressed with the O4 system. But at the end of it, he was like, you know, not a single high top tier racer is going to switch over. Like, it's not better. It's for cinematic stuff. It's for very, very, very high quality. Its strength is super high quality video. That doesn't matter to racers. The gates don't move. They're in the same spot every time. You run the course a couple times, and then away you go. So for racers, it's all about latency and apparently field of view, which is kind of interesting. And it makes sense that HDZero is king there. And it's great. And, you know, I as I've said a million times, I absolutely love that HDZero exists. I have zero interest in racing, and so HDZero ain't for me. But it's wonderful that it's out there, and I love that there's such a huge group of people that are using it. Limits20 says, how are you planning to stream O4? Cosmo Streamer or screen sharing with the DJI Fly app? Cosmo Streamer for sure. The DJI Fly app is only like going to be Android or laptop based, and I'm never going to do with either one of those things. And then the Cosmo Streamer is half as expensive as the DJI big stupid screen with thumbsticks thing. I feel I've been using the DJI RC Pro, I guess it's called, V1, and I like it from a reliability standpoint, but the new one is 50% more expensive. It's $1,200, and enough people have been using the Cosmo streamers and having good enough luck with them in terms of reliability that I feel pretty comfortable doing that, and they're a ton less money. And so I will probably go the Cosmo streamer route. We'll see, though. Jesse Perkins is in the house. What's up, homie? How are you, brother? We are doing mailbag on today's live stream, and the most exciting thing in the mailbag is the Wandering Whoop. The Wandering Whoop. Wait, yeah. The Wandering Whoop has arrived from Jesse. This is a custom-built tiny whoop that Jesse / custom FPV / Nightwing built, and then they send around to pilots, and then and it says right here, you have been chosen from Loveland, Colorado, home of Tiny Whoop HQ. You have 2 weeks. Wandering Whoop is now in your care. I need to go to wanderingwhoop.com. This is such a cool thing. Lots of the amazing Tiny Whoop stickers all over the place here. And here it is, the Wandering Whoop with an extra frame. The frame that's on it right now is the Mobula 6 2024 frame with a bunch of cool custom stuff on it. Some LEDs, some very cool little googly eyes, which I never thought to put googly eyes in there, but that's genius. There's a little... What is that? There's a little figurine attached to the whip antenna. It's a lady. I don't know what that lady's deal is. I kind of want to I wish that there wasn't a cool little lady figurine on the antenna. I would love to swap the antenna out for one of my kind of custom-ish... Oh, no, they are custom. Micro Vs, right? My shorter than normal length Micro V. I would love to swap one of those on there. Maybe I will. Maybe that'll be my contribution to the Wandering Whoop. At the moment, it's on 702 32,000 kV motors, which are my absolute favorites, the Moon Travelers. You know what I might do? I might switch. So these are the light blue motors. I might switch the propellers out to pink props, similar to my Trans Rights or I Bites rig. I wonder what color the... Ooh, somebody black E6000 over the very cool little LED battery lead. Maybe just the main part of it. Hold on. Ah, okay. It still shines through, red and blue. Very cool. One of the things that I know about Wandering Whoop is that everybody does something. Everybody adds a little bit of something to it. And so I'm trying to figure out what to add. And so, yeah, maybe the pink props and then maybe that custom antenna, because nobody else has these 46 millimeter Micro Vs. So that might be a cool little thing. This is excellent, man. It's on a Mobula 6 2024 AIO. And yeah, Jesse sends it with a whole bunch of different motors. I think one of the philosophies here is that you can swap the motors out to your favorite motors and then send it to the next person. It's kind of already on my favorite motors. So I don't know if I'll change the motors out. What are these guys? They're also direct soldered motors. Yeah, so here's the 28,000s. I think that the motors that it's on right now are the highest kV motors in here, although maybe nope, there's a set of Fireflies in here. So The Fireflies have actually never been installed on it. They still have the motor plugs connected to them. So if I was gonna change the motors, I would change it to Fireflies. These are my favorite of the Tiny Whoop motors. They're the most powerful of the Tiny Whoop motors. 0702 36,000s. Looks like it also comes with a set of 802 33,000s. The IPO. Let me get this right for once. Ipmoea. Ipmoea. I don't know how that's pronounced. Ooh, so, Cheetonian says bell swap. Ooh, that's an interesting idea. But I like these light blue bells. I really like these light blue bells. Are there Tiny Whoop 702s with 1.5mm bells? That would be the only bell swap that I would do. I don't know if there are. This is a set of 0702 19,000s. These have been installed. That's way too low KV for me. Here's a set of Element 702 26,000s. Again, a little low in the KV. Oh man, those are handsome though. Silver on gold. Set of the 802 27,000 Danger onesies. Old school. Big old heavy motors. In my opinion, they're big and heavy. And then the 603 26,000s. Very cool. These look like nope, they have not been installed. The motor plugs are still on them. So yeah, I mean, it already has my sort of favorite. I mean, the Firefly 36,000s. They're a little tiny bit better than these 32,000s, just because they have a little tiny bit more power. But it's not that much. It's pretty. They're pretty close together in terms of power. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll take the time to tear this thing all the way apart. You know, it's got, like, the motors are direct soldered, right? And then it's got the LEDs wired into the frame. I don't like to direct solder these motors with the AIO still in the frame. I like to take it all the way out of the frame. And so that's going to mean, like, desoldering these tiny, tiny, tiny little LEDs. And whoever built this, like, they really nailed it, and they've got, like, the wire lengths nice and short. And so, yeah, I to this day, every time that I fly the Trans Rights rig, I absolutely love it. I think that as fun as going north of 32,000 kV on 702s is, less power makes you fly better. And I just, like, I nailed gates with this. And so, and like, it's not too little power. Like, 32,000 might be, that might be the number for the Happy Model motors. Cheetonian says Tiny Whoop has positronic motors 702 with 1.5, but the KV is too low. That's fine. I could buy those. I wish there were more 1.5mm props available. If there were, I would buy a set of those motors, pull the bells off, and then swap the bells onto these 32,000 kV stator bases. But there are no other. There's only one set of 1.5mm bell 1.2-inch props available right now, and so it's a little too early for that. So I think that I will fly it a bunch and swap the propellers over to the pink ones and swap the antenna, and that the antenna will be my main contribution to the Wandering Whoop, and then send it to the next person. This thing weighs 18.2 grams. A lot of that weight is probably this figurine that's riding the pole, as someone in chat said. You guys are gross. Very, very cool. Very, very, very cool project. Comes with a bunch of extra propellers. The 1.2 by 0.9s. I think these are what's on it now. A set of the Gemfan 1208 tri-blades. These are the Gemfan 1219Ss. you know, we've tested all of the 1.2 inch Tiny Whoop propellers to death around here. So I kind of know what I like. And it comes with a bunch of really cool stuff. Baggies with stickers for everybody, and just very, very cool. This is somewhat similar to the traveling box of thumbsticks that I used to rent out to people on my Discord channel. Unfortunately, one of which disappeared. And then oh, you know, I've been meaning to order these. There's a whole bunch of these little tiny clear clothespins in here. I'm gonna steal one of these as a reminder to order a bunch more, because I keep forgetting to order them. There's a bunch of camera mounts in here. There are some of Jesse's incredibly cool Cobb LEDs. Damn. I'm telling you guys, tinywhoop.com is just the greatest. It's just the best website for FPV stuff, man. There's just like, I think my favorite thing about the website is that, like, it is a window into Jesse's brain. It is a window into this, like, wonderfully beautiful brain of Jesse Perkins, like one of the most creative, super cool dudes I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. And like it's, you know, in life, if possible, right, if you're really lucky, you'll like leave behind some sort of like a legacy or something like that. And for me, it's these live streams. I saw, I don't know if it's accurate, but I saw on the YouTube app on my PS5 the other day that in my live streams playlist, apparently there's 1,000 live streams. I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know if I've actually done 1,000 live streams, but regardless, you know, I someday when I'm gone, I will have left behind this massive. Every time I want to say repository, I have to giggle because it makes me want to say suppository. I will have left behind this massive suppository of live streams with lots of hopefully interesting FPV information. You know, for Jesse, he's got lots of great stuff, great YouTube content as well. But like, I feel like the website is like this incredible thing, right? This incredible like representation of that human being, and it's just so cool. It's just the coolest thing ever. And so yeah, there's another camera in here. So this is I'm assuming this is a pinch camera on the tiny little pinch mount. On this right now is the Mobula 6 2024 mount. Which camera is on there? It's a different camera. Oh, it's the FXT. Of course it's the FXT camera on it, because that's what the mount is. So I could swap the cameras on this and save a bunch of weight. That's an interesting idea. This camera and canopy setup, though, they're going to ride really low on the AIO. And they're not going to be as durable. So maybe Lava Lamp does move, but I turn it on right before the live stream, so it takes like an hour for it to get warmed up. It's always moving by the end of the stream. It should be, unless it's dead. I have had it for a long time, and the lava lamps do eventually kind of die. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll change the camera and canopy. You know me. I'm all about durability and whatnot. And so, yeah, I think my contribution is going to be the antenna. I think that's going to be it. Keep it nice and simple. It's going to go out to a bunch of different people, you know? No use changing 15 things on it. Shout out to Jesse Perkins, man, just for being such a cool guy, such a valued member of this society. Tiny Whoops might not exist without him. I have to assume that someone would have eventually figured them out, but they certainly would not be as advanced and as fun and as amazing as they are without him. And yeah, what a cool legacy to leave, you know? What a cool body of work to have. We're very, very, I've said this a million times. We are so lucky to have Jesse in the world of Tiny Whoops. Well, we'll fly this today. Let's fly this today. I might do a specific live stream about no, I'm gonna fly my stuff. I'm gonna do a full live stream about the Wandering Roop, just because it's the coolest thing ever. And so we'll wait on that. Today's live stream is about getting ready for O4, which I've been kind of dragging my feet on because I didn't have the goggles and I wanted to figure that out first. Which I have now. Hold on, let me. So, another huge shout out to Chris Clark. I'm trying to find his. I'm trying to find his Discord name. Is it Cap C? I get so many goddamn Discord messages. Is it Infused? No. Man, it is hard to keep track of all your guys' real names, YouTube names, Discord names, Instagram names. It's here somewhere, but there's so many Discord messages. Chris Clark messaged me over on Discord, and he was like, "Yo, saw that you were looking for DJI goggles. I have a set that I'm not going to use for a couple of months. You're more than welcome to borrow them." Super, super, super cool offer that I could not say no to. And so Chris sent over a set of goggles 2s for me to get up in the air on O4. Also, to check out, he did not like any of the foam that was available, so he used old school newbie drone foam on them. And I was wondering how the hell he was going to do that because the old school goggles are so much bigger. And now I totally see how he did that. and it totally makes sense. It doesn't look the greatest, but I mean, if it works, who cares? So yeah, the old school goggle foam is much bigger. And so he's kind of like twisted it up in the little nose area, which probably works pretty well because that's where there's a whole bunch of light leak. So let me actually try these on. I literally waited until this live stream to kind of open these up because I wanted to see what this goggle foam setup, so the strap is a little tight, would be. Strap is awful tight. Apparently I got a big old head. That's what she said. Well, there's no light leak. Wow, there's no light leak at all. Interesting. It's pushing on my nose a little bit. I don't think this would be comfortable to wear for long periods of time for me. My face shape, size of my nose, size of my head apparently, because Jesus, I gotta loosen up this strap. There's also something pushing into my head. Okay, it's just the wire, so that's fine. Yeah, man, that really kills gets rid of the light leak, but I can feel it, you know, my size nose. I can feel it kind of pushing on me. So I don't know if that is for me. I'd previously borrowed a set of goggles too, and I bought the newbie drone foam designed for them, and I put it on, and my only complaint was a bunch of light leak here. I kind of don't care so much about the light leak. I don't notice it after I start flying. When I first put the goggles on, I notice it, and I'm like, ugh. But then as soon as I start flying, I'm not paying attention to it, and I don't think it really affects the way that I fly at all. Chris, thank you so much for sending these over, man. This is going to allow us to get going on the DJI O4 stuff. Very, very, very kind of you. As soon as you need them back, let me know, and I will fire them on back to you. In case you were wondering, goggles 2 fit perfectly in a Radiomaster case, Radiomaster transmitter case. They drop right on in there, and you could put a couple of extra batteries in there, and they're nice and protected, and yeah, that was pretty slick. I opened the box, and I was like, he sent me a transmitter? What's that about? He also sent me a shirt that is size large. We'll see if it's too big for me. There you go. Rated X T60. WhatTheFPV.com. Thank you, dude. I'm a medium, but I will certainly try this on. If it's too big for me and looks silly, I will do a giveaway with it to get it to somebody that'll wear it. Thank you so much, dude. Very, very cool of you. Very, very cool. So there's your... I forgot to do the thing. I stole that from Mighty Car Mods. Go support them. They have the best automotive channel in the world on all of YouTube. And they're just really, really, really great guys. So what am I? Am I Pilot 3? Pilot 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Send the whoop back to Tiny Whoop HQ. So I am Pilot 3. So I'm going to put a bunch of my stickers in Pilot 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Awesome. After I do a live stream about it. Super cool. What a cool community that we've got. You know what I mean? What a cool group of people. Oh man, all kinds of stickers. Very cool. Very, very cool. All right, yo. What does boy am I old? What's the significance of 90%er? There's multiple stickers in here calling out 90%. What's 90%? What does that mean? Here's another one. 90%. What's that mean? Anybody? Anybody? Tell me, friends. Tell me. Tell me what that means. Great Scott says Infinity Loop members. What okay. What's 90% though? Morton Upshot says a mathematician would work it out with a pencil. Cheetonian says this chat is so funny to me because I have the apparently constipated person blocked. What constipated person? Albin Hawk says, is it better to do a 65mm build, or should I buy a bind and fly like a Mobula 6, or do you think that a 75mm is a better option? If so, should I build or buy a bind and fly? 65mm for inside the house, 75mm for outside the house, 1S 65mm for inside the house, 2S 75mm for outside the house. 1S 75mm, it's all right, but it's not great in any way. The runtime's not great, the power's not great. When you're flying outside, it's really nice to have some extra jam, and boy, oh boy, does 2S give that to you. So yeah. Mads Tech says, I have come here to start some YouTuber beef with Ciotti like GN and Linus Tech Tips. Your mother was a hamster and your father smells of elderberries. That is the most European attack that I've ever heard. Your mother was a hamster and your father smells of elderberries. In America, that is the least harmful thing that anyone has ever leveled at us. What's up, Ian? How are you, dude? Hey, Ian, thank you for taking one for the team on the O4 light setup. The first thing I dove into on the stream today was, yo, go watch Ian's video, and while you're watching his video, put a bead of E6000 between the main PCB and that like little daughter or whatever PCB that has the connector on it. As soon as I watched your video yesterday, I did that. Did you mention, though, speaking of hamster and elderberries, did you mention in your, I don't know if you mentioned in your video that you removed the two nice blobs of, I don't know what the hell they used here. And that is probably the reason that second PCB broke off, because the way that they set up these blobs of hot glue, which I showed earlier in the stream, it looks like they very specifically did them to hold that second PCB down. I don't disagree with you at all. And like, you have to remove those if you're going to unplug the camera. But I don't know if you mentioned that in your video. You probably did. No, I did not. Fake YouTube content to cause DJI trouble, apparently. There it is. See, that's why DJI doesn't send Ian stuff, because he leaves out important bits of info like that so that he can stir up controversy and bankrupt DJI. That's the problem. Is that behind the scenes, what Ian is trying to do is hurt DJI. I can't even keep a straight face when trying to do that. He says my overall point was it's weak as shit, which is absolutely right. They should not have glued the goddamn mipi down. They should have glued the second PC, right? They ran their glue all the way up on top so that if you ever have to unplug that mipi, you're going to put all this strain on that. They should not have done that. They should have glued those two PCBs together so that you can remove the goddamn mipi without breaking the effing camera. But still, I do 2-hour-long chunks of content, so I can talk about all those little details. Ian put out a 8-minute video, and sometimes in an 8-minute video, you can't cover 7,000 bases. But yeah, thank God for Ian, another person in this hobby that we just don't deserve. Just putting out amazing content all the time. We're super lucky to have him. All right, let me get caught up on chat a little bit now that we've created controversy. Now that we've done our job as good YouTubers and created controversy. Try to find where I'm at here in the chat before I got all ranty. Willie FPV says, I was impressed with O4, not even Pro, but also the light as well, that I sold my HDZero goggles and moved totally to DJI. Damn. Okay, fair enough. Frank Nicholas says, DJI Fly app is iOS. Oh, no way. Okay. Oh, well, but on iPhones, you only have the one plug. And so you'll be able to get... Yeah, no, for me, when I'm flying the live broadcast gigs, I have to have HDMI out. And there's really not going to be a way, unless there's some insane dongle double setup into a phone where you can plug the goggles into the phone and then somehow have another cable coming off that lightning plug with HDMI, which, if it does exist, that seems insane. So yeah, the DJI Fly app wouldn't work for me in a live broadcast setting. Not to mention that I would have to have another plug to power the phone, because there's no way the battery would last for the 4, 5, 6 hours that I fly straight at these broadcast gigs. So yeah, the DJI Fly app wouldn't work for me personally. Michael Blade says, hey, Chris Croft says, the thing with the O4 and the timing wouldn't be really an uncommon thing. They would not have the timer settings completely dialed in for DJI. Yeah, God only knows if the... You know, what was interesting is Joshua flat out said in that video with Evan, like, that he thinks the race directors should get the Cosmo streamers and allow DJI O4 pilots to join them and to fly with it. Which I was like, wow, okay. That's a bold claim right there. But what that also says to me is that it is accurate enough from a timing perspective, which is good. Limits20 says you could stream from goggles straight to your phone and screen mirror your phone on your Mac. I tried it. Obviously, it's not as good or convenient as a Cosmo streamer, but it's free. Really? There's a wireless connection from the goggles to the phone. Jesus. That's pretty gnarly. I didn't realize they were doing that. That's pretty fancy. Willie FPV says my fly style has changed because of the DJI O4 Lite. I can fly much more places than the HDZero Light Freestyle and Cinematic. Yeah, the strength of the link with O4, that'll change things. That'll allow us to fly much farther away, especially with ELRS being so good. And so that'll be kind of fun. With lightweight tiny whoops, how far away do you really want to fly? But like, if you go to the mall and you want to like fly one end of the mall to the other, you can probably do it with O4. It's kind of cool. You know, more range is obviously only ever going to be a good thing. So that is interesting. Cheetonian says Bell swap the motors to 1.5 on the Wandering Whoop. I really would. I would legitimately do that if there were more props available. Islander FPV says add some E6000 to the canopy / camera to keep it nice and level. On the Wandering Whoop, they're using the Mobula 6 banana hammock canopy, which has the screws, and so it holds the camera properly, which is awesome, so I don't have to do that. Cheetonian says, yes, a few. I wonder what that was in reference to. That was at 3:30. Uriel says, fly first. Maybe you break something, repair that. We will fly it maybe tomorrow. Maybe that's tomorrow night's live stream. Cheetonian says, Tiny Whoop has positronic motor, 702, 1.5 kV too low. It's okay. I'd be buying them for the bells, but I'm not gonna. Morton Upshot says, does that lava lamp ever move? I don't think I ever see it in the motion. It's not going yet, but we'll see. Do me a favor, guys. If by the end of the stream it's not flowing, let me know, and I'll buy another one. Because, yeah, the glass bastards with the weird liquid and the wax in them, once you've run them for a ton of hours, they wear out in some weird way. So let me know if it's not flowing. But it usually... I mean, it's been 56 minutes already. Usually they I thought that they warmed up within an hour. It might just be shot. I might need to get another one. That's okay. They're cheap. Denzel the Terrible says, post it in the Discord 3D printing channel, NeoFlow, and let CiottiFPV know there. NeoFlow says, can I post a link to O4 Lite STL? It's the best I've found and may help some in chat. Yeah, for sure. Hey, I forgot to tell you guys how you can help me keep doing this. CiottiFPV.com, my friends. It's got a million different ways that you can support me. Patreon is the best one. You'll get full access to the Discord. You'll get a unreleased playlist of like sketchy flying, random flying, half-done edits that I want your guys' opinions on, and Patreon-only live streams that I've done. I did one like last week, actually. You'll get access to the Patreon itself with all kinds of technical articles and good stuff over there, and you can get it all for only $3 a month. That's 10 cents a day, or 7.5 cents per hour of live stream content. You can't tell me that the last hour was not worth 7.5 cents. We didn't really do much in the last hour, though, so maybe you could say that. Etsy has some really fun stuff. Lots and lots and lots of stuff being added lately. The pin vices will be up on there momentarily. So that'll be the next thing that gets added to the Etsy store. Do me a favor, when you buy something on the Etsy store, buy a sticker. Buy one of my stickers and then stick it on something and take pictures of it. Tell your friends. Let's get more people up in here. What do you say? Fiverr, you can work one-on-one with me. Take advantage of over 8 years of FPV experience. I can help you fly better. I can teach you how to tune, and I can help you plan out a build that is going to work perfectly for you rather than just some other stranger on the internet. I've got a big long list of questions that I ask you to figure out how you fly, where you fly, what you're doing with your footage, what you crash into, how often you crash into it, so that we can specifically build something for you top to bottom with the perfect motors that are durable enough but efficient enough but have enough power, the perfect props that hit all those targets, the perfect frame, voltage, all the things. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars figuring all that stuff out. For the love of God, let me help you through it so that you don't have to spend all that money yourself. Teespring has some really fun shirts and other random apparel. PayPal if you want to support me directly but you don't like the fact that Google takes 30% of your super chats. and then lots of affiliate links. Use somebody's affiliate links, yo. It helps us keep creating things here on YouTube and keep testing things. Amazon, Get FPV, Pyro Drone, Race Day Quads, Newbie Drone, We Bleed FPV, BetaFPV, FPV Cycle, Hasingi, Oh My God, Brain 3D, HDZero, Flywoo, Emacs, Banggood, Camera Butter, and AliExpress. There's some other fun stuff at the bottom here that you might laugh at. That's how you support me, my friends. Appreciate everything that you do. You're the only reason that I can still do this full time. Talked about that from Albin. I'm still trying to get to the bottom of what the 90% mean. Like what does 90% mean? What is the meaning behind that? Great Scott says Infinity Loop members, Meth Petition. Eshar says 90% skill, 10% luck. Is that what it is? Brent Anderson says 1 data point shy of a full basket. Anybody want to confirm what the whole 90% thing means? G-Tonian says, time to rewatch Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Is it from Monty Python? I haven't seen that since I was a teenager. Monty Python, 90% quote meaning. Boy, am I a fucking boomer. Somebody just tell me what it is. Don't make me work so hard for it. Bastards. Oh, is it holy hand grenades related? Denzel the Terrible says, consider yourself lucky you didn't get compared to plain mashed potatoes by Billy Bob Thornton like us Canadians. I mean, anything, I wouldn't put any real importance on anything Billy Bob Thornton says. That's just me, though. Denzel the Terrible says, the Welsh are such shit disturbers. Denzel also rightly says Mads Tech equals legend. Mads Tech also says O4 is buggy as hell right now. Loads of issues, to be honest. I haven't paid a ton of attention. My life has been nutty this month, but I'm getting there. The point of the live stream today is to get a couple of orders lined up and or find a bunch of 3D prints, basically for canopies. Canopies for the O4 are the one thing that I do not have. I do not have a single way of mounting this. I probably do. I probably have a canopy that would work with just one screw in it. Just the top or the bottom set of screws in it. Maybe not, though. But yeah, I want to get this set up so that like later in the week, this week, I can hopefully get some O4 builds done. The thing I'm looking forward most is comparing the field of view to Walk Snail Light. Although, like, Walk Snail Light is so insanely fragile that, like, I just don't know if it's a real thing anymore. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Frank Nicholas says, the dongle plug you speak of, Lightning to Lightning and HDMI, does exist, but I agree the Cosmo Streamer is for you. I think the Fly app has OSD overlay you can't remove. Yeah, so that's a total deal breaker, is the non-removable OSD. But that's okay. Yeah, the Cosmo Streamer is absolutely what I need. Madstech says, O4 and race mode should work as good as HDZero at time with timers. The RF behavior is very similar now. Very cool. DJI have really cleaned up the RF behavior. Nice. Iranian drone carrier says, racing is dying, allowing DJI pilots might prolong its agony a bit. Is it really? I like I said earlier, I pay zero attention to racing. I'm shocked that it's dying. You know, we've us freestyle and cinematic pilots have benefited a lot from the racing community being so thick. Brandon McBean says, yeah, Goggles 3 do wireless to the phone, but it can be laggy. I found plugin is much better, and that makes sense. Cole Power says, how many O4 wireless monitors do you get before you saturate 5.8? Yeah, that's interesting. How many O4 rigs can you get up in the air at once on race mode? Chris Wells says, "You're totally welcome for the goggles. Sorry, out doing farm chores. LOL. Least I could do for the amount of coin you've saved me and the amount I've spent on proper gear. LOL." Thank you again, dude. Very, very cool. Denzel says, "Hamster / eldenberries is Monty Python." Ah, okay. Yeah, so I still don't know what the 90% thing is. And I'm very curious. Cheetonian says, "Rotor Riot's canopy is available to print yourself if you want to try." That's pretty cool. Eagle FPV says, 90% came from Justin Davis of Drone Camp saying something like 90% of the time or something, and Infinity took that and adopted it as a part of the Loops crew. Interesting. Okay. So it's a dig on Justin Davis, it sounds like. I don't know. I try not to dig on anybody like that, so I will not be adopting the 90% thing. But that's okay. You do. Oh, and there's Eagle FPV. Oh, he said it twice. They ran with it because they used to make fun of that guy. Got it. AZ Lone Wolf says there's some 3D printed adapters to work with the Mobula 6.7 canopy. Yeah, it seems like there's a whole bunch of... so let's dive into it. O4 stuff. I'm caught up on chat. Perfect timing. O4 mounts. CiottiFPV.com. Scroll down. There's a Discord link. Get your asses on my Discord right now. Over on my Discord, there is a 3D printing text channel that's open to everybody, not just patrons. In the 3D printing text channel, let's see the O4, the 3D printable O4 canopies. There's already a bunch that I can see on there, but jump on, if you know of an O4 canopy, jump on that Discord, take a look, see if it's already on there. If it's not already on there, put it in there, and let's have a little suppository of O4. Of O4 canopies. Any possible ways of mounting the O4 light, right? I'm going to go to Rotor Riot and grab a link to the Vision 40. Well, what? So here's the O4. What? Go to the page for it. Here we go. Oh my God, with the pop-ups. Why is every single FPV site stuck in the 1900s with pop-ups? It's a oh boy. Cheetonian beat me to it. All right, so Cheetonian just put up the link to the Vision 40 canopy. It's probably linked here somewhere. But yeah, awesome. All right, so that's up over there. Any other ones? So Crom has adopted Timmons's Batwing mount that I use to chase all the RC drift cars into the O4. So if you scroll up in the 3D printing channel, Crom's mount is in there. It looks like somebody just posted an O4, Mobula 6 ball sack canopy adapter, which is super cool looking. Boy, does that look clean as hell. Well, you know what? Here, let's just do this. So yeah, look how clean that looks. My God. So that's pretty awesome. That's going to be a heavier, that's going to be a heavy setup, right? Like the Mobula 6 ball sack canopy is super durable, and the way that it mounts is actually really nice, but it's going to be heavy. So this is going to be a tank of a setup, but it's great that it exists if you want something durable. As long as the mounting ears on this canopy are not pushing up against any components on the DJI VTX, then yeah, this is probably going to be one of the, if not the most durable setups. There's the Vision 40 setup there. Here's a couple of banana hammock setups that I probably won't go with, but thank you very much, NeoFlow, for posting. What else do we have in here? Tiny Whoop Fleet Storage Solution. That's pretty slick looking. Motor Spacers FPL. That's pretty cool. I would not recommend printing out the motor spacers in TPU. If you're going to print the motor spacers out, do it in a harder medium. What else do we have? TPU canopy for BetaFPV Air 65. Nope, that's not what we're talking about here. Looks like that might be... I don't know what that is. I'm looking for Crom's Batwing mount. No prop in view. Front... Oh, that's interesting. So that's Crom putting up a print file of the O4 camera that you can print out, and then so that you don't have to buy one of the damn things. That's pretty rad. There's the ball sack mount again. Ark's putting up something that looks like it's O4 related. Shoot FPV with an O4 standard air unit camera adapter. That's probably interesting. Yin Yang, he's been putting some cool stuff up in here as well. Yo, you guys are using the shit out of this 3D printing text channel. Very cool. Remixing each other's stuff. Some talented ass motherfuckers over in the on this Discord. Mobula 6 CO2 camera mount. That's pretty cool. Here we go. V Pro. So here, that's what the adapter for the... That's what one of the ball sack canopy adapters looks like. Look at that fancy looking thing. Good lord. Man, I can't find Crom. God damn, Crom, did you post it this long ago? He was like on the ball. He put it up like the day after the O4 came out. Oh wait, I'm all the way back to December 28th. I'm too far back now. I must have missed it. Balls. Yeah, I'm all the way back into December. Crom, are you in the chat? Can you repost it? It deserves to be reposted anyway. If anybody has Crom's adapted Batwing mount. Wait a second. Isn't there supposed to be a Batwing tagged posts in here? Hold on. We could find this. All right, so there's that. That's on 117. I probably just scrolled right past it. There's Crom. Okay, arcs. There's Crom again. All right. Come on. 114. That's we're too far back. Damn it. Where the hell is it? What if I just search for Batwing? See, it doesn't... Discord search is worthless. I want you to search in here, you idiot. Like, why won't it search in here? I don't understand Discord. I'm such a fucking boomer. Help me, chat! Bird person, help me! Type it, bird person. Yay! Thank you, bird person. Why couldn't I find... Here it is, the Batwing. It's like a thread inside of a thread. Yeah, how do we... there it is. How do you... But how did you find that? You goddamn computer people. There it is. Crommins. Great. That's a combination of Crom and Timmons. Timmons, stealing your job. There it is. There's the one. Batwing Bing Bong. How did you find that that thread? If you scroll over the people at 3D printing, it shows the threads within. What? Hold on. Let me try to figure that out. So if I scroll over Crom... That's a shitty way of finding the threads. I'm gonna pin it, I think. So apparently if I scroll over Crom, like that, like highlight his name, doesn't work. What if I click his name? I don't know, man. This Discord thing, I don't know about this Discord thing. I think that it's, I don't think that it's going to survive. What? Hover over the 3D printing icon. Oh, shit. Well, that's pretty cool. Okay. But I want to pin it. How do I pin that shit? How do I, to make it even easier? The Batwing. Pin the Batwing. Discord. Siri, make Discord pin the Batwing. No? All right. Well, it's worth a shot. Pin message. Yes. That probably didn't work. Pin. Oh, look, there's a threads icon here, too. That's pretty nice. All right. Well, hopefully, you know, everybody else knows how to use Discord, since I obviously don't. That's how you find it. Look how smart I am. Wait. Oh, wait, look, now it's stuck. I want it to be stuck like that. That's good. Cool. The Batwing. There we go. All right. Thanks for bearing with me while I learn to use Discord live on stream. O4! Hard mounting O4 apparently is giving most, if not all, people trouble with stabilization. Rocksteady and gyro flow. And so away we go into the absolute nightmare pain in the ass of having to soft mount cameras. And so we're going to see a whole bunch of weird soft mounting setups for the O4. The first of which is BetaFPV's attempt. Let's see if you can just buy the canopy yet. Where do I look at your canopies? Okay. 0 products. What if I search for canopy? Huzzah! All right, so here's the first option. BetaFPV canopy for O4. BetaFPV canopy for O4. Let's see if anybody inside the US sells it yet. Probably not, but it's worth a quick look. Has anybody seen it inside the US? It is a brand new item, so I doubt it. Let's check the usual suspects here. Tiny Whoop, it does not look like they have it yet. Weebleed, doesn't look like they have it yet either. Let's check Race Day, Get FPV, and Pyro. New. Alright. New. Alright, new. Alright, so Pyro Drone, thank you for the pop-up. I don't know what I would do if I went to an FPV site and didn't get a goddamn pop-up. Alright, so Pyro Drone... Oh, another pop-up! Even better. Keep it coming. The year is 1981. Aaron Ciotti has just been born, and websites have realized that pop-ups will make them more successful. And they all start doing it. The year is 1982. Everyone hates pop-ups and hates websites that have pop-ups. And stop buying from those websites that have the pop-ups. GetFPV doesn't have them. Nobody's going to have them. They're too new. They're like less than a week old. And then RDQ, which is now GetFPV. So I don't really know if we will ever see a difference in products between GetFPV and RDQ. Let's also check Newbie Drone. I guess all products will show, yeah, newest to oldest. All right, yeah, nobody stateside's going to have it yet. And so the conundrum becomes, do I order it from BetaFPV, and in the amount of time that it takes them to ship it from overseas, it comes in stock in at one of the shops in Florida, one state away from me, and then I'm still waiting for it to show up from BetaFPV, or do I just be patient? Ooh, look at this prop. What is this? GemFan 3032. Look at the sweep on this. What in the hell? Yo. So it's a bull nose, so it's for use in ducts, and it's a 3-inch. What is? I wonder if this is. Yeah, there it is. Avata 2. There we go. So that's an Avata 2 prop. But no reason for us not to use it as long as this bolt pattern here is okay. So the hole is not drilled all the way through the middle, so this might actually not work in Avata 2. It might not work on anything other than the Avata 2. Whatever. I'll get a set eventually and report back. Okay, so nobody has it. And it looks like, we've just looked at new products. What other websites should I look at? Can anybody think of? It doesn't look like there are any O4 canopies available right now, which is not surprising. It's just too new. And so we are left with BetaFPV, Happy Model, and 3D Print. Speaking of Happy Model, we haven't really talked about them yet. They have the Mobula 8, I think it is. What are they calling it? Yeah, Mobula 8 O4. And there is a canopy. I don't think it has any kind of soft mounting, but there is a canopy that exists. I messaged Jason from Happy Model, and they are very kindly sending me one of these Mobula 8s without the O3 built in and a couple of extra canopies. So I'm not going to buy a Mobula 8 canopy, not that I probably could anyway. But yeah, that's on the way. So that'll be really cool. We'll be able to test the Happy Model canopy. The reason why the canopies are so important is that we need to find the lightest weight, we don't need to, but we want to find the lightest weight, strongest canopy that does not push up against any components on the VTX, which could potentially break them. At least one canopy, I don't know which one it is, but at least one canopy that currently exists is breaking the bind buttons off of the VTXs. So we got to be careful here. We can't just slam these things into whatever canopy and be good to go. Cheetonian says Rotor Riot also sells the canopy by itself. That is awesome, because I've been meaning to buy some extra Mobula 7 V3 frames, and Rotor Riot is the only place that sells them. But I do actually now have this one extra. I'm actually going to hold off because I can 3D print it, and because I need to start 3D printing, and because I want to 3D print the Batwing canopy that Crom remixed from Timmons's. Yeah, I'll hold off on a Rotor Riot order, and I will try to 3D print the Vision 40 canopy. But for anybody that needs a canopy right now, there you go. Rotor Riot has the Vision 40 canopy. It's probably pretty good. BetaFPV has, it appears, the only canopy with proper soft mounting. You can kind of see it in here. And so this is almost certainly going to be the heaviest canopy, but if you want to use GyroFlow or Rocksteady, this is probably the only canopy that's going to, let's not say that. Let's say this is the canopy that's probably going to give you the best results. That's going to depend heavily on your build, though. If you have a clean enough build, depending on what your all-up weight is, those are the things that are really going to matter. The reason why all-up weight matters, we don't really talk about this much, but a heavier build will cruise at a higher RPM because it's heavier and there's more thrust needed to keep it up in the air. And so if you're having jello problems, one of the ways to solve that is to either lighten up or weigh down the build. You can also change propellers, going from a low pitch to a high pitch propeller, going from 2 blades to 3 blades. It's not just one propeller is better balanced than the other. It's shifting the RPM that the propellers are cruising at, right? There's all kinds of different ways to move the to move the RPM. And why the RPM matters is because the RPM is what controls the resonant the frequency that the vibrations are happening when you're cruising around. We do cruise around at different speeds, right? And so it is going to be like kind of a dynamic thing. Like you fly around in the house, you're going to fly slower, and so you're going to fly at a lower frequency, a lower RPM. You start flying around outside, you're going to put the nose down more to go faster. You're going to cruise around at a higher RPM. And so, yeah, what made me think about this and talk about this was watching Nick Burns's review of the BetaFPV 1S 75 Pro O4 build with this canopy here. And he didn't go through gyro flow, but he did use Rocksteady, and it was a mess. And apparently BetaFPV said, you know, you might have something pushing up against the camera, or you might have the canopy screws on too tight. Jello and the inability to use gyro flow or Rocksteady is a pain in the ass. It's always going to be a pain in the ass. A hard-mounted... I've also seen situations with a lot of these pusher cinematic prop-guarded rigs where you'll get jello because the camera is soft-mounted. When you soft mount a camera, if the quad is vibrating at just the wrong frequency, that can make the camera start vibrating inside of the soft mounting at a different frequency. And like worst case scenario, that then feeds back into the gyro. So the gyro has more work to do. It's going to have one spike at the motor vibration, another spike at the camera vibration inside of its own soft mounting. And so, yeah, getting O4 to, unfortunately, it seems like whatever gyro they put in the O4 is ultra sensitive. GoPro have managed to figure out the perfect fucking gyro to put in all of their cameras other than the Session 5 and the Hero 6? No, 7. It was the Hero 7, I think. The Hero 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 all have a gyro in them that is not overly sensitive, and it works wonderful with gyro flow and real steady. Nobody else seems to have figured this out. And so, like, with O3, now with O4, with, I assume, Walksnail, it's a pain in the ass. And, yeah. A hard-mounted camera might actually work. It's going to depend on the build. It's going to depend on how well balanced the motors are, how well balanced your props are, what your build is like, what the all-up weight of the build is. And I will try my best to figure that all out. And it's going to start by me ordering this. I'm just going to snag... I'm just going to put the order in. I don't think BetaFPV takes that long to ship. So I'll order the their wacky soft-mounted canopy, and we'll take a look. Boy, is it ugly. It's almost like they tried to make it as ugly as they could. It's ugly because they've got all kinds of shit in there. They've got all the soft mounting in there. They've got all the brackets in there. They've got all kinds of wacky stuff. But, like, I don't know. Couldn't you have, like, I don't know, rounded this, or let's put, I know what they could have done to make it better looking. They could have put, like, a little thing that, like, maybe you snap to the top of it that, like, looks like a crown. That would have made it cooler looking, right? BetaFPV has been very nice to me, and they've sent me a bunch of stuff, which I really do appreciate. But, like, you know, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, there's these, like, little extra pieces that you you snap to the top to make it look like a king's crown. I don't know. It's just... Look, man, if you're gonna do some silly shit like this, then somebody on the internet's gonna make fun of you. It's all in good fun. You know, you do you. You're trying to make it so that people buy it. I get it. It's all good. But, like, you know. I guess I should snag one of these Matrix 1S flight controllers, because it seems like this is the only 1S AIO that has, even though it seems like, even though DJI has said that 1.2 amps is enough for the to drive their air unit, that does not seem to be the case. Like, all of the existing 1.5 amp 5 volt Beck AIOs it's the O4 light is browning out when the voltage drops down to 3.7, 3.8. And so it looks like if I want to do a 1S O4 build, I have to get this Matrix 1S 3-in-1, which is kind of fine, because this is going to be the lightest weight AIO to drive O4. And if you're going to do a 1S O4 build, you're going to have to save every 1/10 of a gram possible. And so I do want to do that. I absolutely want to have an RC drift car chasing 1S 65mm O4 build. This would be the AIO that I would get anyway, so I might as well snag one now. And it's $40 is a hell of a deal. $40 is really cheap for an AIO. Especially when you look at, like, 2G4s that are like $60, $70, $80 now. So yeah, I'm gonna add one of these to my cart as well. I think that's pretty much going to be the order. I don't really think what else on BetaFPV do I need to snag. I'll go through their whole website after the live stream. Actually, after I go teach some folks to partner dance tonight. Oh, look, they specifically sell the shock absorbing components. I'm buying 2 of the canopies, so I'll get 2 sets of these. So I don't really need to get that, but that's cool that they sell that separate. BT 3.0. I need more BT 3.0. BT 3.0. For the love of God. Oh, this is nice. Yeah. Just the connectors. I got to figure out if I need male or female, though. That's easy to figure out. I need these. the female side, because I'm going to adapt. I'm going to convert these back. Oh, wait, no, I have these. No, I'm good. I have 3 of them. I'm good. These are the adapters that I have. These are the AIO side leads that are just a little bit too short. I cannot believe that they do not have a longer version of these yet. Please, BetaFPV, please. This is exactly not long enough. This is... Come on. Please. Make a slightly longer one. For God's sake. And you can't use these adapters. These adapters are the wrong... I guess they are the right size. But again, the adapter's too short. And the adapter is soldered for the 3-pin. Yeah, I know. It's just... Well, yeah, you know what you could do? You could buy these. and then you just don't use the third pin on the quad side is what I'm talking about. Because extending the leads on this is just insane. That's an insane thing to do. But whatever. I'm fine. It's fine. Let me hit the Discord again to see what other canopies have popped up. All right, it looks like we pretty much have all of them. Arizona Lone Wolf putting this crazy looking one. So there you guys go. Over on my Discord in the 3D printing channel are pretty much all of the different O4 3D printable canopy options. This week, if I can bring myself to do it, I will learn how to 3D print and print all of these out. And we'll start testing canopies. Cool. If you know of any other O4 canopies, please put them in here in the 3D printing channel. Do what these guys are doing. Just drop the link. Let's just have a whole bunch of links in a row to O4 canopies. You know, it would be cool to have another one of these threads here for O4. What's this? Oh, okay. Well, there's another one by Crom. Crom, can you do me a favor if you're... I don't think I've seen Crom in the chat. I'm going to type it in here. At Crom. Yo, man, can you change this thread to master lists of all O4 canopies? It would be awesome to have, here we go again, one main suppository. Is that how you spell suppository? That's certainly not. It's a U. Suppository. Thank you. I already started typing it, so god damn it, I'm gonna finish. Awesome. Thank you, dude. Very cool. And then how can I how did I pin? It looked like I did a good thing. I pinned it. I want to pin the suppository. How do I pin the suppository? I know there's other people that don't know how to use Discord, so fuck you for thinking that I'm an old bastard that doesn't know how to do anything. Right. What's happening in chat? Alexander Lewis Hughes asking the question, is there any way we can buy some Batwing mounts for those of us that aren't in the Discord? I'd love to join, but I'm barely scraping by it right now. Absolutely. One of the reasons why I'm excited to actually learn to use the slicer and actually learn to 3D print is that I'm going to print a whole shitload of the Batwings and then put them on the Etsy store. I'm probably going to print a bunch. Well, I guess I can't print the stuff that's just randomly on Thingiverse and then sell it, right? The Batwing was created by Timmons, and so, you know, like, he sort of has the intellectual property rights to that, so I'll make sure he's cool with it. But yeah, if anybody, once I've figured out how to 3D print, if you guys need something, yeah, I will print it for you, and then you can just pay me for shipping, which is $5 within the US, and then away we go. Also, I did get set up on Pirate Ship last night, so if those of you outside the US bug me enough, I will try Pirate Ship out to see if they can reliably and inexpensively get packages from Atlanta, Georgia to somewhere else on Earth. So yeah. Cheetonian says, nobody has the BetaFPV stateside yet. Islander FPV says, Albert Kim tested the BetaFPV O4 canopy and said he thinks it needs a little material moved around the top grommets on the camera as they contact the canopy a bit, hard mounting it slightly. That's never going to work. So we'll take a look at that once I get my hands on them. Limits20 says, did you see the Mobula 7 2S O4? I did not. It's on pre-order at Pyrodrone with a new canopy. Oh, shit. How did I not see that when I was over on the Pyrodrone new items? Because I guess I'm just looking at regular new items, not pre-orders. They have a... Oh, look at this. Oh. No. When Dogcom says 330, it's just a regular old 300. Where is it? Where are your pre-orders? Pre-built? Maybe it's on their homepage? Where are your pre-orders, Pyrodrone? Mobula 8 2S, is this it? Nah, that's DJI O3. Where are you seeing that? In stock, in stock, in stock. Pre-order! 2S! Alright, so that's their canopy. Wow. Okay. Okay. So they're sending me the 1S version and a couple extra canopies. So I will have this canopy to test. Actually, it won't be soon because they're in Chinese New Year right now. So it won't be for a little while. But at some point, yeah. Look at them doing a 2S version. Good for you. Oh, yeah, we knew about this one. We talked about this one already. The 10,000 kV motors are too low of a kV. 1102 is great and all, but 10,000 kV is too low. Super shame. They do have it on the bigger frame with the bigger props, but these bigger props are very fragile, and then the gem fan version of these bigger props are out of balance. So yeah, unfortunately, this is. I think this is actually what they're sending to me. I don't think they have a 1S version of it. Yeah, this is kind of sad. But if you get this, all you've got to do is take the motors off. Well, I mean. Yeah, no, it is going to be too low of a KV. So you're going to have to swap the motors and swap the frame. Put it back into a regular 1.6-inch prop, 75mm frame. Run higher KV motors like a 1002, 19,000, 18,000, 20,000. Motor limit it down a little bit, and this thing will be good to go. But, I mean, at that point, you've replaced the motors, you've replaced the frame, you've replaced the propellers. All that's left is an AIO and then the canopy. So, unfortunately, what I think that you should actually do is not pre-order this. Because 10,000 kV is just too low. I mean, maybe you could bump this up into an 85mm frame, but then the 1102 motors, I think, are going to be a little bit too small. I think with a 2-inch prop, you want to go up to like 1202 or 1203 even, or 1103 even. So, yeah. Can't everyone make rigs that perform really well and just relax with the 4, 5, 6 minute runtime like requirement? Put higher RPM motors on and motor limit it down. The only people that care about the really long runtime, most of the people that care about those really long runtimes are people that don't know much, and they're never going to know that that motor limiting is there, and they're going to live blissfully unaware with their 5-minute runtimes wobbling around the yard. That's a little mean, but, you know. And then those of us that have put the time and effort into fly good, we know about Betaflight, and we're going to be able to go into the motor limit and crank it up to 90 or 100%, and then we're not going to have to swap the motors out. We're going to buy the thing. How about that? People that more people will buy it. Why? Why is this? Why? Why do I have to keep screaming into the ether about this? What is it just me? How is this like? If you had like, if you were making a car, and like for free, you could put a 1,000 horsepower engine in that car, It wouldn't cost you anything extra. And then in the fucking software, you could just code it in to have 100 horsepower so that all the people that just putt around don't kill themselves and get great gas mileage and all is right with the world. But then for people with a racing license, let's say, or you put a GPS in it and then it sees when it's at a racetrack, it opens up the 1,000 horsepower tune. Everybody's going to buy that car. All the people that just want good gas mileage are going to buy it because it's not going to cost anything extra. Just like putting a motor on that's 14,000 kV instead of 10,000 kV is free. Why? The fact that it's on the bigger frame, though, using the bigger props, I mean, you could certainly run the regular 40 millimeter propellers on this thing on the bigger frame, but then you got this big ass gap between the tip of the propeller and the frame is needlessly heavy because it's bigger. And so, yeah, I mean, what gets me is that it's 2S, and they did not need you don't need the bigger propellers on 2S. There's little to no benefit. That's not true. There is a benefit, but you don't need that benefit. You already get plenty of power and flight time on 2S with regular 1.6 inch props, which there are more options and better options. And then the weight would come down too. This frustrates me. I know why they did it. But I wish that they hadn't. And they put an XT30 on it too, which is madness. But they're not BetaFPV, so they probably can't get the BT3. I'm sure they could get the BT 3.0s, but they'd have to pay royalty. G-Tonian says, we got that? Morton Upshot says, if the canopy mount touches the bind button, can the board be installed inverted, or would that obscure access to the button? The problem with inverting the board is going to be there are tall components on the top of the board. The bottom of this O4 light board is nice and flat, so you'll be able to slam it down nice and close to your AIO. Mounting this board inverted is going to force you to raise it up even more, and then you've got to run longer screws, longer grommets, and then you've got a longer lever when you crash inverted. So I'm not going to recommend that. And it would kind of obscure access to like the USB and stuff like that. So yeah, I would not want to mount it inverted. That would be a packaging nightmare to try to rotate the board in a way that you don't have tall components on the top of the AIO contacting with tall components on the top. And then you might run into the same problem where on inverted crashes it pushes the VTX down and these tall components bang together and then break. So I don't think flipping it upside down is a great idea. Limits 20 says Nick Burns had some terrible results with Rocksteady and the BetaFPV canopy. NeoFlow says, have you got hands-on with the new 1X Matrix board? No, BetaFPV initially said that they were going to send it to me, and so I waited and I didn't order one. And then they said, we're so sorry, something has changed in our marketing, and we can't send you it. And so, yeah, now I'm just going to order one. Cheetonian says, 10 days delivery from to Massachusetts from BetaFPV. Oh, 10 days is a lot. Denzel the Terrible says, that canopy looks like a brain slug from Futurama. Should get it in green. They only have it in white and black right now. Cheetonian says, hey man, don't hate. My nephews are going to be super excited that they can dress up their whoops like a night before flying. Yeah, see? Kids love it. Sometimes we need to remember that that it's not just us in this hobby. Crom says, I'm here. Brad Mondin says, suppository equals repository, lol. Max G says, any 31mm biblades with 1.4 shaft available other than the special edition Gemfan ones from Weebleed? Nope, not yet, but there's more coming. Keep your eye over on Weebleed. Cole Power says, my mom always said it's not the size of the motors, it's the motion of the frame. Oh, that's a disturbing conversation for your mother to have with you. Ray Waz says pirate ship is great, but they are just a discount reseller of the usual shipping services you already use. Yeah, I had a feeling, but I'll give them a shot. The stamps.com, their overseas shipping options are prohibitively expensive, like $40+ for something that costs $4 within the US. It's just insane. AZ Lone Wolf 81 says, are the Gemfan 1610 biblades for 2S with BetaFPV 1102 18,000 kV a bad idea? No, that's the best. It's one of the best ideas. That is arguably the best idea because the BetaFPV 1102 motors are tall enough that you don't need to use the heavier, longer screws from my Etsy store, and you don't need to use the spacers. The 1102s have great power. 18,000 kV is a little bit too high, so you motor limit it down to like 85%, and it's awesome. The only negative to that setup is that the 1002s are a little bit lighter, and you might get a little bit more efficiency out of the 1002s. But the 1002s, you got to do all the other silly stuff, right? Longer screws, spacers. So yeah, no, the BetaFPV 1102 18,000s are awesome. The Gemfan 1610 biblades are the strongest, and they are very well balanced. The other 1.6-inch prop options from HQ are lighter weight, but they're significantly less durable. So for me, I still like the Gemfan 1610 biblades. I will take durability over a slight improvement in the weight of the propeller, especially on 2S where we have plenty of power. On 1S, those HQ ultralight props were almost necessary because 1S didn't really have enough grunt, and reducing the weight of the propellers makes a big difference in that case. But with 2S, we've got plenty of grunt, and so you can run the heavier, more durable props and still have something that performs awesome. Danzel the Terrible says, then the manufacturer can't make more money off the 1,000 horsepower Fireball edition. That's true, but none of these FPV manufacturers make 1,000 horsepower Fireball editions. Well, the reason it doesn't work too with cars is that it's not free to put a 1,000 horsepower engine in the thing, right? It costs a lot more money. Not to mention that you have to beef up all the everything else, the drivetrain, the brakes, all that other shit, right? But Denzel is absolutely true. That's something that happens quite a bit in the automotive world, actually. BMW is notorious for this. They will have, not just BMW, it's kind of everybody. They'll put the same exact engine in a couple of different cars, and then they will detune the less expensive car. So like, you know, a regular 3 Series BMW versus an M3, they'll both have the B58 engine, but the M3 will have 50 more horsepower just from a tune. And so the smart people buy the regular 3 Series and then pay a couple of $100 for a tuner to tune the damn thing, and they'll make 50, 60, 70 horsepower from that tune and have the same amount of horsepower as the M3, whereas the M3 will cost 20, 30 grand more. But yeah, there you go. Treezer OP says, hopefully someone can help. Built an Air 65 following Oscar Liang's guide. Everything works when tested, but when I try to take it off, jitters and cuts powers on liftoff. Anyone have ideas? Boy, could that be a bunch of different things. It sounds like it's never flown, so the AIO could just be blown up. And so that is a definite possibility. There's a FET that's blown up on the AIO. The gyro is just shit out of the box. You're going to go outside in. Look at your propellers. Take the propellers off, put a fresh set on. See if it changes anything. Next, look at the motors, right? Outside in. Propellers, motors. If you have another set of motors, put a whole other... You could have a motor that's bad. Put another set of motors on there. See if the behavior changes. Take the motors and move them. Take motors 1 and 2 and... do 1 and 4. Swap 1 and 4, swap 2 and 3. That probably won't do anything, but it's worth it. It's worth the quick try. Again, outside in. Props, motors, frame. The frame is the next thing. Make sure all the screws are tight. Make sure the frame's not broken. Outside in. Props, motors, frame, AIO. Make sure that the AIO is floating. You can't have anything pushed up against that AIO, hard mounting it. Make sure there's no wires in between the frame and the AIO. Make sure that you're not using a frame that doesn't agree with the AIO. You can't have a part of the frame mashed up against the AIO. That is hard mounted it. That will not work right. There's a whole bunch of things for you to try. The way that the canopy is mounted, make sure it's not pushing up against it. AIO with the gyro on it needs to float. That's why we put these rubber grommets in the corners. It needs to float. Everything's going to vibrate underneath it. You want it to stay nice and solid. Levster says, Gangly Gang, CiottiFPV, nice dude, nice Scott here on time. Uriel says, real M3 is collectible. That's true. Well, some of them. The new ones are so ugly that I don't think anybody's going to want to collect them. But they need to figure that new grill out. Boy, is that a ugly fish-faced, disgusting schlip-schlop. All right, so yeah, O4 prep. I think I'm pretty much good to go. We've got a massive list of the 3D printable canopies over on the Discord. I'm going to put this BetaFPV order in for their flip-flop. What's it called? Canopy. Anything else I can find. And it doesn't look like there's much of anything anywhere else that we can get for O4. Rotor Riot has this canopy available for sale, but they also have the file that I will figure out how to 3D print. So we don't need to worry about Rotor Riot. If you're going to order that Vision 40 canopy, you might as well order some Mobula 7 V3 frames while you're at it, because Rotor Riot is the only place that has them right now other than Amazon. And I would rather support Rotor Riot than Jeff douche Bezos. Newbie Drone doesn't really have anything. They've got some. They've actually got some like pre-builds, which are kind of interesting. Although this is a GEP-RC pre-build, but well, this is also using the O4 Pro. But Newbie Drone does have a really interesting. I don't know why it's not in their all products, but here it is. O4 pusher kind of setup, which is pretty slick. Super, super, super cool. But I don't think I'm going to go down the pusher rabbit hole. This is more for like cinematic stuff, but it's going to be way too heavy for chasing the RC drift cars. And so, yeah. And so for like flying outside, I would rather not have a pusher, because if I'm going to fly outside, I'd rather have something that can take off from the grass. So like this is super interesting, but I don't think it's for me. It is really cool though. This is a really interesting setup. If I'm going to have like a pusher like this that you can't take off from the grass, it might as well be bigger. It might as well be on a 2-inch or a 2.5-inch prop. Something really small and lightweight like this that you really can't freestyle at all. I don't really. Yeah, that's kind of not my thing. You know, that's just me though. Happy Model is apparently sending me this, which is cool. It doesn't look like there's really anything else on their website, though, that's interesting about the O4 Lite. GetFPV doesn't really have anything. Same with race day quads. This new product section of Weebleed is, I'm checking it every couple days, because we're going to have some really cool stuff popping up here sooner than later. But at the moment, they don't really have anything. Same thing with Tiny Whoop, although I do need to do a Tiny Whoop order. I forget what. Oh, nope. At some point, I'm doing a Tiny Whoop order, but this Runcam Nano 7 is sold out. I really, really, really want to get my hands on one of these Runcam Nano 7s. Nobody has them right now. As soon as this comes, actually, notify me when available. There it is. I always forget that we can do that. Yeah, as soon as this becomes available, I'm going to do a newbie drone order, and I'm going to get a set of these new motors to check them out. What are the highest KV 702s that they have? These are sold out as well. Damn it. 702, 702, 802. Oh, and of course the iGao is sold out too. Christ. Well. Crap. Oh well. Well, maybe by the time that this comes back in stock, these T-Dog 702 32,000s will come back in stock. We'll see. All right, so Tiny Whoop, we're good on. BetaFPV, they're the only place that has the canopy. Man, I was hoping that we would find more. We would find more stuff, more O4 canopy mounting solutions. But, yeah, something is better than nothing, so there's that. Let me, let me get caught up on chat, and then I'll fly a couple batteries, and then we'll all go and watch Mads Tech is what we'll really do. Ramdongo says, what's a good ELRS module right now? The Happy Model EP2 has continued to be awesome, and they're hysterically inexpensive. I think the Radio Master ones are also really good, but the Happy Model ones are super cheap, and you can get them everywhere. Ramdongo says, I've run out of 1.5mm shafts to buy. What do you mean? Florigen, or maybe it's Florian, says, why are pushers louder? I think that aerodynamicists would say that it's because you want to keep the low pressure zone clear of obstructions, but the fact that pushers are more efficient, it kind of debunks that a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why pushers are so loud. That's my guess as to why pushers are loud. But and then Levster says, do you have any experience with the Menace RC Bandicoot or Viper linear patch antennas? I don't, but I do have experience with Menace RC antennas, and they're really, really good. So I would, and Menace RC has some YouTube videos that are super helpful too, and the guy seems like ultra knowledgeable. So yeah, Menace antennas are good as far as I'm concerned, and in my experience. Oh, I forgot to charge batteries. We'll fly one battery. Oops. We will fly one single battery. Well, shit. We might as well fly it on the Wandering Whoop. And then, like I said, I'll do a live stream with the Wandering Whoop. Here we go. And come on now. I gotta get my binding phrase up in here. Oh god, beta flight's gonna take 1,000 days and nights to open up. Hey, who knows? Anybody know offhand what really good noise reduction software is? Any video nerds out there for GoPro specifically? All right, connect receiver. I probably need to get into the tear as well. Yeah, get into the tear. Oh no, it doesn't have. Where's the bind button? It doesn't have a binding phrase on it. Hold on. I gotta go into the Lua script. I haven't done the Lua script in a minute. ELRS, Lua. I gotta get to the bind button. I gotta get the transmitter into the module into bind mode. Bind. There we go. All right, so bind. Oh no, script syntax error. What? Come on now. Hopefully it's in bind mode now. Let's plug this in 3 times and see what happens. 1, 2, 3. It's on BetaFlight 4.4. Why does it not have the bind button? That's super obnoxious. Let's see if that worked. Of course not. ELRS Lua. Bind. Script syntax error. Don't mind the screaming. That's Florence Azalea. Bind. Script syntax error. Oh my god. Why is this my life? I'm going to change to the other module that has a screen on the back. And I'll just push the bind button. And then we'll be fine. Everything will be fine. Here we go. In here, menu, push the button. Bind mode, press to send bind request. There we go. And 1, 2. I gotta get my rates on this thing as well. 3. Come on, give me the beeps. Bind, you bastard! Grab the module that's on 2.5, see if maybe that's the move. Maybe it's on the older... No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be on the older ELRS version. Come in here. Press the send bind request. Let's try this again. 1, 2, 3. Should now be in bind mode. Press to send bind request. Binding. Please bind. Please bind. It's not binding. Oh. Why? No. 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 Brandon's Baked Beans is suggesting a magical website version of BetaFlight that runs in 11.0. Let's try that. Plugging it in. app.betaflight.com. What a time to be alive. Whoa! It's too good to be true. Can you... Come on. Yeah. There's no bind button. Oh no. No. Bind underscore RX. Bind, I forget the... No. Why? Why you gotta be like this? Everything in FPV. Why no bind button? Give me the bind button, you bastard. These wacky rates that are on here. Well, here's what's weird. Hold on. This is the Mobula 6. That's the Mobula 6 2024 AIO. This is my Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, right. No bind button on mine either. Oh, although this one is currently bound. What the hell, man? Why won't it bind? 1, 2, 3. You should now be in bind mode, you jerk. Bind! Bind, you bastard! Okay. Well. It's bound to something else, and this happens sometimes. It's so frustrating. Like, if it's bound to one thing, why? Like, when you unplug and plug 3 times, why wouldn't it just forget the other thing? You're never going to plug and unplug 3 times and not want it to be in bind mode. Is there a bind button on this? I don't think that there is. I don't understand why they designed it like this. I blame Happy Model. Is there a bind button on here? No. No. The bind button's on 4.5, not 4.4. Yeah, so I mean, the problem is that the AIO is not going into bind mode. Because it's bound to something else. Mobula 6, 2024, binding procedure. If I have to wipe the firmware, I'm gonna be annoyed. Not wipe the firmware, but update the firmware. I'm gonna be annoyed. This doesn't tell us how to bind it. Oh wait, here we go. Here we go. Is there a bind button? There is no bind button. Bloody hell. Well, I think I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to put it on the BetaFlight 4.5. Oh, farts. Yeah, they're plugging and unplugging 3 times. Why is this real life? Why is it like this? Okay, so that should flash orange, double flash orange, and yeah, it will not do that with 3 plugs and unplugs. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no. It's doing the slow single flashing flash, flash, flash. Can't get it into bind mode. Boy, is that obnoxious. Man, that's just ridiculous. I did wait a bunch more, Sergio. It won't go into... Iranian Jordan Carrier says, I would check if there's an ESP chip on the AIO. I'm going to have to flash it. And that we will do on the Wandering Whoop live stream. I don't have the patience right now. Man, that is a very silly way to design yo shit. If it's bound up one time, the 3 plugin things doesn't work again. Ever again! Why is that real life? Because that's the only way. It's the only way to get it in mind mode. There's no other option other than putting it in, like, I think my only option here is to update it to Betaflight 4.5. That seems pretty ridiculous, doesn't it? Right? What's the target? Target is, it's going to be like crazy donkey. Target is Hamo Crazy B F4 SX 1280. There it is. Yeah, I'm literally going to have to update it to 4.5 in order to get a bind button, since plugging and unplugging is the only way to get this AIO into... Rams Baked Bean says it's SPI, not Crossfire. Why? How has this come to me with the wrong... How? How? What? Why? I'm pilot number 3. This was with people that were flying it. How does this happen so often? Why is this a thing? Why is this real life? I didn't think to check that because this was a working rig. Wait a second. No, it's not, because I plugged in my Mobula 6 2024 and it was the same. This isn't going to work. This won't work. It's not SPI. It is CRSF. But I'll power it up anyway. Yeah, no, it's CRSF. It was set up properly. I confirmed that when I plugged mine in. Yeah, no, we got nothing. Let me put it back so that I don't completely lose my mind. So if I'm pilot number 3, how did pilot number 2 get this thing bound? Know what I'm saying? Why is there a binding phrase now? I think it's just the configurator being a little bit buggy. Yeah, it's just the config being a little buggy. How did pilot number 2 get this thing bound, yo? Pilot number 2 is stronger. I think Sam has it. Brandon thinks the target is wrong. Here's the target. Crazy B F4 SX 1280. Let me plug mine in. Crazy B F4. What? Mine has a different target. Mine has STM32F411. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. The plot thickens. Well, we can do all this on that live stream. But look, when I hit auto detect, it picks the Crazy Bee F4 SX 1280. Oh boy. Max says, when do you go 0702 versus 802 on analog 65mm? All the time. 702 is the way to go. 802 is too heavy. It's for 75mm bigger, heavier rigs. Yeah, okay, I'm out. I'm gonna have to flash it to 4.5. That's the only way to get it into bind mode. Ooh, Chuck P with a really cool idea. Do it in the CLI. Do the binding phrase in the CLI. I never thought to do that. Oh shit, hold up. But I think what Brandon's Baked Beans was saying is that this 4.4 version is not going to use the binding phrase. But I don't know. Let's try. I would love it if this worked. It's not working yet. Let's power cycle it. Let me check the things in the place. Hold on. Let's do this, and then I can check the binding phrase real quick here. So let's see if you got it right. 162, 138, 199, 153, 161, 235. Yeah, it in the CLI. It now has the correct UID for the binding phrase, but it's still not. It's still not working. Still not gonna work. Come back in here. All right, now it's back on CRSF. Yeah, I guess, is that the deal, Brandon? Betaflight 4.4 just doesn't use the binding phrases? Because we've now got the proper UID. Get Express LRS UID. We can double check it. Default value 0000. Our value 162, 138, 199, 153, 161, 235. Yeah, we've got the right Express LRS UID in there, but it's just not working. If it's an older version of ELRS, then you may need to reset the runtime option. Oh my god. What? Flagadelic says, can't you connect it to Wi-Fi and match your transmitter binding phrase? No, because I can't get it into binding mode. Oh my god, the OSD has 7,000 things on it. I don't know if anybody's ever flown this. Look at this. Look at that OSD. There's no way anybody flew it like that. I think... You know what I mean? I think nobody has flown this. So my assumption that this is a working rig is wrong, I think. I think that's one of the things that's going on here. So I didn't want to flash it because I wanted to leave it as close to like as it is, but I think I have to flash this, which is fine. That actually makes life so much easier because I put it onto 4.5. The binding phrase is in there. Away we go. So yeah, we will do that on the Wandering Whoop live stream. Cool. That's good. That is actually much preferred to continuing to try to figure out a way to get the damn thing into bind mode. So awesome. That'll be neat. There'll be a little tutorial on how to flash new flight firmware. We're going to fly the BetaFPV Matrix 5-in-1 CO3 camera, Newbie Drone Cockroach V3, Weebleed 0702 40,000 kV HQ ultralight biblade rig. And I've only got this one battery, and it's at 3.9 volts already. So you're going to get about 30 seconds of flying, and then this live stream is over. Ooh, shit. CO3 camera looking good. Oh, my God. Low battery warning already. Let's see. Oh, no. Oh, God. Ah, rejected. Beautiful Weebleed. Oh, I tried to do the completely impossible pull-up bar to cube gap. Hey, I can. There's no way I'll be able to shoot that gap inverted. Not in a million years. Hey, got stuck in there. Ah, come on, let's get that newbie drone dive. Ah, so close. Come on. We've got a second more. Oh, God, no! Oh, man. I absolutely did not need to disarm that. Oh, there it is! That feels good. Okay. And then it immediately commits Harry carry. I think that's about it, though. We got 1 minute and 8 seconds of flying. Better than nothing. Man, this thing flies good with these ultralight biblades. Thanks for hanging, friends. My name's Aaron Ciotti. Either tomorrow night or maybe Whoop Wednesday stream will be on the Wandering Whoop, and I will put Betaflight 4.5 on it. I'll put I'm going to set it up the way I think it needs to be set up, because it looks like it's never been flown before. I cannot possibly imagine someone flying that thing with that OSD the way that it was. And if they did, I'm not sending it to the next person with that OSD. That's absolutely outrageous. So I'm gonna set it up like one of my rigs. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna grab a fucking CLI dump from this, which has the same AIO, and I'm just gonna dump it right on there, and we will be good to go. It'll have the binding phrase. It'll have all the good things. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for hanging, my friends. CiottiFPV.com to support me. I'll keep doing this for as long as you guys keep it going. Here's some random cinematic flying from 2022. Love you, bye!